And I will just cut out the first second.
Cool.
Okay. And I have to use my notebook. Okay. Short introduction. This is Britt from Defensive BJJ, as the guru of playing defensive in Jiu-Jitsu, and I have a couple of questions for him. So my first question usually is how to get better in Jiu-Jitsu, or what are common mistakes you can avoid if you take care?
That's a very hard question, yeah? Anyway, so how will it start? How to get good in Jiu-Jitsu? One term I like to use is a deliberate practice. So that means you control the environment, I guess. And I would say just deliberately put yourself into the positions to find out. And you have to know how to train skill. So, I've changed the way I teach in a class and the way also we teach in seminars. I'm using now more constraint-led method. That's part of the ecological approach. And we do a lot of games from different situations. And that means we can skip like technique part, so to speak, even in the early stages. It's not to say that there's no techniques, but it's easier to understand things. So, but I really think like just consciously, what do I have to know to get good at, let's say, in side control. Side control basically is I have to learn how to block the hip so they won't pull guard, and I have to stop them going to the knees. Yeah, obviously, and third one is a reversal, yeah? So I cannot get bridged. So, but let's say pulling the guard, not let them pull guard, and control them, like so they're not gonna get to the knees. So if you can do those two things, you can stay in side control forever. And then you add like a submission, like finding underhooks. And then if you find underhooks, then you can do whatever YouTube tells you to do. So it's really those, like, I don't know, foundation, fundamental, whatever the skills, whatever how you want to call it, those skills. And in every position there is some of those skills. And you really have to, don't be a technique collector, know those fundamental skills. And really like, okay, let's train this blocking the guard, stopping them going to the knees. And I want to know everything about it, And that's, some positions, but also feeling and messiness is there. And then start to look for underhooks, and then obviously you can have like a progress, like, near belly or maybe mount, even transitions. But that's that. And so in every position there are those things. It's not random what we do. And I feel those things, understanding them and knowing how to train them with task-focused drills and stuff, is really like it's really awesome, and it makes Jiu-Jitsu look very, very possible to get good really fast, instead of just collecting techniques. So, like deliberately practicing and knowing what to do, and then I guess coach has to tell you. So I gave one example, but there's a guard stuff, there's stop stuff, and there's escaping stuff, and so it's not really that hard, actually. Sad to say, but it's not actually that hard.
Yeah, the collection of techniques, I know this is all about purple belt and stuff like this. Okay, let's come to the next question. Because we had this discussion when we are driving to the airport, and there are also some rumors in the internet. What are your thoughts about the graduation system in BJJ?
Don't like it. So, belts are weird, and also after now changing the way I teach, when I do a weekend seminar, I can make a white belt skip a belt in 4 hours in that area, So white belt comes, and then we train some crack prevention and stuff, and 4 hours, and that in that area is their purple belt, in that sense, in their skill level. So it was always weird, the belts, but I think we can differentiate that what person can do, and white, blue, purple and stuff. I understand kind of what they mean, but now it seems it's very quick if you train with skill development, not just accumulating techniques. And so people get good very fast, and then it's like, I guess the belts still mean something, but there's a difference also with competition purple belt and recreation purple belt. So it's all messy. So I don't know what the right answer is, because I think there should be a difference between competition purple and the recreational purple. Maybe even different shade of purple, you know, because they're not equal purples, you know. So 4-stripe purple or competition, even if they wear stripes, is different recreational purple. So, and that's totally different world. So, and we should, you know, and somebody, if that's one very unpopular idea I have also is like, I don't think everybody should get a black belt. And it's really, I know, sounds really harsh and stuff, and but you have to understand what the context is, because I really think like if you miss your window, you miss your window, and I don't actually think everybody should get a black belt. Everybody should do jiu-jitsu maybe, you know, and stay off the couch, or you know, it's not actually end of the day the belt. You know, I respect people that are older and just still training jiu-jitsu, but they're not doing any more peak performance, you know. And if some people say like, oh, it's the age and potential of the age black belt, but then we have to differentiate that. Then it's 20-year-old black belt is not the same as 60-year-old black belt, you know, who started like, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you know. So it's different, and then it's like, and then it's all the same black belt. Then we have to differentiate, or do we even need the belts? Or so, and some people I know that we do in our gym, we give like performance belts, yeah. You have to perform in that level, and then I know some people do belt exams. I really don't believe in belt exams, however you want to justify them, because there is no purple belt sweep, there is no brown belt guard passing, you know. Yeah. I know that some cases also people have said, yeah, but you know, it's not maybe specific like mount escapes in a belt exam, but just show me 5 mount escapes. But I would even say like, why 5? If 1 works, in a brown belt level, I can do 1 escapes to everybody, yeah? So why do I need 5, you know? Why my brown beltness is defined by somebody who says 5 is necessary? Why not do 1? And if I can do it 1 to everybody, I can get half the time out and half I get stuck, so I'm good, you know? And so it's a really interesting debate, and it's easier without the belts, but I also understand that belts are like some kind of guide, you know, if people don't compete, and maybe they want to know what level they are, yeah. We are in our gym is very not belt oriented, yeah. We don't have belt ceremonies, so to speak, in the end of the year like many gyms, you know. Everybody gets stripes and belts and stuff. We just randomly give up belts, and we do the Ironman tradition, like when everybody rolls everybody, we just maybe once a half year or something, we have certain like a ritual we go through. But other than that, we don't emphasize so much belts. We like jiu-jitsu, and I think we've built overall culture in a gym where belts doesn't matter so much. And I know still some people chase belts, and I can honestly say I never did, so I cannot relate to people who want belts for belts. And so that's why I have a hard time. So I don't know what the right answer is, because it's easier without it, but I know it kind of helps to guide people a little bit, you know. And I know some people like stripes, some people don't like stripes. And sometimes I don't know what level somebody is before they compete. We had a Lizzie Wacht, she's a 60-kilo girl, and she's fighting guys in a gym. I don't know what level she was. Is it blue or purple, you know? And when she started to compete, I was like, oh, okay, there you are, you know? She was competing against her own size then. And now she mainly got belts after competition. Yeah, because we knew that she would beat those people, and then we get another belt because she was ready to do another challenge. But in a gym, it was hard because she was the smallest, you know? So how do we measure that? So we used competition to measure. So it's weird. So I'm not going to give you a straight answer because it's a mess. We try to manage the mess with this. We still give, and we give also belts in no-gi. So I guess they're
also performance-based then.
And yeah, everything is performance-based, but now we don't mind if it's a no-gi or gi. You still get a belt. Because I've been talking to some people about it, that is it right or wrong, and they usually tell that why does if you're a gi black belt, why you're automatically a no-gi black belt? Understand? Yeah. Because you can take the gi off and automatically you can be not no gi, but you're most likely gi black belts, they're not really good in let's say leg locks, yeah. But that's a really big part of no gi, and maybe your skill level even drops in no gi. You understand? So. So now they're usually against like, oh, no gi black belts, you shouldn't wear a gi because you don't know anything about the gi. But at the same time, you don't know anything about the leg locks, you know, or some other stuff. And I think it equals it out. And then the argument was that, but if somebody is in that level of learning, you know, and understanding jiu-jitsu, that is a black belt, then maybe they can change really fast also. Give a gi guy like a year time to figure out leg locks. I think they catch up pretty fast. Yeah. Or
Yeah.
give a no gi guy time if he really goes like a technical guy. Give them a time and they figure out the gi stuff. You know. So because the learning skill is there. You know. So then usually it was like only like, you know, gi gives belts, but I find also there's no other things to give people. You know. You can't give rush guards to people. You know. Or some other stuff. So
Yeah, but some gyms do.
yeah, so we still give belts, and I don't think it's perfect because there should be something that no gi related, you know. But they don't wear a belt, but I guess it's a symbol. But belts are cheaper than giving rush guards, you know. So it's like a 50 euro rush guard after, like, it's like, you know, club will go bankrupt. So I think it's a mess. And I don't know if people want to fix it. I think it's just many people let it be, you know, and we just manage, and people have different standards. And I don't know if there needs to be a uniformal thing. It has to be debate, and all kind of opinions has to be involved, and then we'll figure out what works. Because in belt area, in the belt, you know, tests, a lot of traditionalists, you know, some people like also self-defense included, you know. Self-defense should be in a belt exam. I think clearly not.
With competitives.
No, I don't think like gun and knife defense should be in jiu-jitsu, you know. And I would challenge those techniques, obviously. And so we have to come first of all to agreement. What is jiu-jitsu? Is it a self-defense art, or is it a sport? So I'm more in a sport. So I don't think jiu-jitsu is a self-defense. I think it's a art sport that has a application. You know, you can do no-gi, gi, MMA, self-defense. But I'm not training this for self-defense. I've never fought like in 47 years. I would be stressed by now because I would like to fight, you know? Understand? So if I'm training for self-defense, I want to use it, you know? So, but I can't. So I'm training for sports. I use it on a mat, and that's what I'm good at, you know? So it's a really mess. So we can't agree on certain things. Then the belts are even weirder, you know? So it's a messy topic.
Yeah. I want to choose another question that we
Yes.
also discussed, and I found your answer very interesting according your opinion to gauntlets. So usually in most schools, times are changing now, but in most schools, if you get a belt, and we had this as girl or boy, you get whipped by the other ones. Some are harder, some are softer. Yeah, but what's your opinion about this?
Hate it.
form?
Through the bone marrow, as deep as I can go. I really despise it and hate it. And also, in that sense, I would say, other way, if you want a gym that is, I would say, you know, masculine, you know, tough guys, you know, I guess if that's your goal, go for it, you know? You know, I would have many questions. It's like, what age you start beating people, you know? Is it like when they're 18? Do you beat minors? Yeah? Do you beat girls? As a new parent, when do you start whipping my kid? I will have issues with this, you know. So we have issues because I know there's been also double standards when some black belts, their wife got, I think there was a story that their wife went to the gauntlet, and now there was like, oh, if you hit somebody that, you know, hard, then you have to deal with me, you know. So there's double standards now, yeah. So do we hit like this, or do we actually hit? Because I've seen pictures of people being proud that their back is bloody.
Yeah.
Do you want young kids to see it? Do you want females in your gym? Do you treat people the same? So do we beat girls to the bloody back, or is it only tough guys? So why are them like, you know, girls are like this and guys with, it's not even them, you know? So I would like that it should be like a equal ritual for, you know, even for kids maybe, for females, you know, for adults. So, and even I think Fabio Giurgel, even there's articles about it. He's regretting that, and I know why people like it. I know the arguments. Oh, it's tough. Suck it up. If you can't take it, leave jiu-jitsu. But those are all tough man arguments. Yeah. So depends. For like, I obviously don't like it, and I never whipped anybody. And if there's a ritual, I stay away. Also, I don't commit to it. And I will tell everybody, if you don't like it, don't go through it. and if they don't give you a belt, then I harass you for it. That's a really bad gym, yeah, because I don't like to get whipped, and if I don't do it, then you go like, ah, you're a sissy, really? Is that the gym you're like building? So I really would emphasize that if you don't like it, you don't have to do it, yeah. And so for me, there's no benefits why we do it. We like our own Ironman ritual, and so even like I said, even Fabio Gurgel said like he regrets it, you know. And so there is some like macho thing attached to it, you know, toughness. You go through some like screaming, even go left side, you know, go front side. They hit and they hit the back.
They take off the jacket.
Yeah. Some people like there's no standard. Also, some do it with gi, you know, some do it without the gi. Some just do this. Some just whip really hard. And for me, it never served any purpose. And I know the defenders what the arguments are, but it's just like it's silly. We shouldn't do it. And I encourage everybody, if you don't like it, don't do it. Don't go through it. And because for me, just whipping people, I don't know. I don't like it. Yeah. And I think I have the same argument when people say I like it. But it's like, what kind of gym do you want, you know? I want like a kids-friendly, female-friendly, you know, the gym. So I choose my rituals, yeah? So if you want tough guys, if you want this, then you choose different, because obviously if you spar always hard, if you have certain rituals and stuff, and then you build different gym, you know?
What could be a better ritual to celebrate the grading?
So what we do is, I'm from, you know, my background is SPG, so you know, I'm not with them anymore, but I was a long time. And we did Ironman. So what it meant, Iron Woman, Iron Man, what it meant was everybody came in, like let's say 40 people, 30 people, and we lined up from belts, you know, white belts to the black belt, because, you know, white belts are more, let's say, spazzy in the beginning, and you're more fresh. But the point was you roll with everybody, yeah, that came. So there was everybody's chance to congratulate you. You shouldn't win. That was not the point. Because you can't, it's 40 people and it might take an hour, hour and a half straight rolling. So you would probably die in halfway. But you're more fresh, so white belts come earlier because you're more fresh, you know, and then when you're super tired, then higher belts will carry you through. But the point is like, you kind of die there, you know. You just get so exhausted and you're just on the mercy of the people, you know. You're the most vulnerable in front of the people. Because they can do anything to you, you know, they can just injure you and stuff, they won't. And they just carry you through, they roll, pump, good job, next one, you know. And then I'm the last usually, people are super tired after that. And I pin them, I hold the belt, I tie the belt on them, and I lift them up. So it's like a rising of the phoenix, you know. You're a completely different person after that. Because first of all, you've never been that tired in your life. So being in a gym like, oh, I'm tired, I'll take a break from rounds. Now you know what tired means. And just being tired is, you know, you can't go like, yeah, I'm tired, you know. So it is a really, and I think it's very interesting ritual when somebody is so vulnerable in front of people and they don't take advantage of that, you know. And they carry you through. So it's really like an awesome ritual in that sense, you know, that really tests the community. Because we could just knee and belly you, you know, armbar you, whatever, you know, it can hurt you. And I think that ritual makes sense. That we break people in there, like mentally, people just give up and stuff, and it's okay, you know, and it's really like a changed person after that, like, you know, in a way. So that Ironman ritual, that for us makes sense. Obviously, if there's a lot of blue belts, so 5, 6 blue belts together, but if it's like a brown or black, it's a single person. So, and that is really their day, you know, and most likely, and also. You did something very, very, very hard, rolling with that, you know, 1 hour and a half straight, let's say. And everybody will come to hug you later, and everybody know what you went through. Everybody saw you were the weakest, and then you did it, you know. And then they come to congratulate, hug you, and it's a really powerful, emotional situation later, because they know how hard it is, and what you did was really, really hard. So it's in all different ways. It's you know, whipping is also surviving that is hard, but it's more like a tough, you know. Yeah. And that is why I still liked Ironman, and we still do it. And very, very awesome ritual. Sorry.
Very cool. let's jump to the next question. What are benefits and bad sides of competition in BJJ?
I guess it depends on a person. Clearly benefits because you're more connected, what works, what doesn't. We have a competition team also in Estonia right now, and right away people are more focused. Like, we don't accept people in a competition team if they don't give us their competing schedule. Yeah. So it doesn't have to be abroad, it does have to be in Estonia. Yeah, two competitions a year, you know? Estonia Nationals gi, Estonia Nationals no gi, okay, whatever. So, and people have focus, you know? They're now, okay, I have to train because the competition is coming, you know, they're preparing. So they're way more focused, they're learning, they're showing up, you know? They're doing for something. Otherwise, they just come to the class and, you know, you skip and this and why do we train? And, you know, maybe, you know, let's fix that mistake tomorrow, you know? So I find that people have way better focus. I don't mind if you lose or win. Obviously, that's always good if you win, but it's more like a personal development. And I would say you have to compete a lot to start winning, actually. Some people can do it right away, but a lot of times it takes a while. You know, you do the stupid mistakes with rules. I forgot this rule, that rule, you know? Yeah. And you're nervous and stuff, and too nervous, I would say. And then if you compete, you do we call them child mistakes, you know? Do that, and then you start to win more. It's repetitive for you. You see similar people fighting you again, so you're familiar with this, you know? So, and obviously just like you know your mistakes, the reality hits you. And then you go, okay, let's fix that, you know? Other way you would go like in a gym, oh, what do I need to fix, you know? Competition shows you right away. Even if you win, it shows you right away. So, I find competition is good, but not necessary. So if somebody don't compete, but then they have to know that they're missing reality, yeah? And I still say, like, in some occasions, they should agree with somebody, let's go harder, you know? Yeah? And let's do it for a win right now, you know? I would still think occasionally, like once a month or something, somebody in open mat, you know, we agree that we're both ready, and maybe there's somebody's watching also or whatever, but let's go hard, and now let's do it as it means. That win means something. 1-0, I win, you know? And so that would be connected to reality, what actually works, you know? And actually, I think a lot of people want to compete, but maybe they're afraid and they're not ready. So what we did also in Estonia, we did now like fight night. It's a Estum Jiu-Jitsu fight night, and we do super matches. So it's only one match. And so we pick them who's actually very similar in a class. Understand? The people they know already. But now there's something like fight night, everybody's watching, but it's only like our club people.
Okay, that's an interesting idea.
Because we did a fight night, and then, yeah, so then they know each other, they rolled each other, you know, in the gym, but now it matters, you know? And that's been really successful because people are like, even putting themselves up for fights. Oh, I want to fight that guy, you know? And so it's fun, it's casual, you know? Not so much pressure, it's our social event.
What rules do you apply there?
IBJJF or ADCC?
Okay.
Compared to, so depends what kind of competition comes next.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's really, really popular right now. And we have done it twice right now. So it was like, we thought what would be our social event, but it just happened just because of one thing. And we really like it because people should get their first experience competing in a club. And super match, one match, you know, they can go all out, and if they get tired, who cares? There's no second, third in a match. Yeah, so they should first see how they act, and they should like it. And now maybe they get like good results already. They get used to it. Oh, I want to actually try it. There has to be a baby step for that. Right away, sometimes it's like, okay, like you know, in your town. Oh, let's say German nationals. You know, if your first competition is German nationals, you're doing something wrong. You know, so it should be in your gym, low pressure. You know. More like a social event, everybody's cheering, you know. And again, you do something hard and you get respect for that, and then you get used to it. Maybe I try something else, you know, some other competition, or because you feel you're not so bad, and now everybody else is watching, you know. So you need to know that you can perform, you know, because there's still some social embarrassment and stuff happening there, you know. And you don't want to like represent your gym and then you just totally lose everything. Even if it doesn't matter, if I tell you it doesn't matter, you still put pressure on yourself. So, so we try to do that and to lure people, let's say more people in there because there's clearly a good benefits. But if you don't do it, I don't mind. Yeah, because maybe the gym roles are enough, you know. And then you have to always know that if you don't go hard also in a gym, that you're not so much connected to reality. Yeah, you're missing something. So I recommend occasionally with somebody you know well, let's do like, you know, once in 3 months, let's go hard today. Like, no, let's do it for a win. So you get to experience that nervousness and you don't fall over in a sweep. You fight for that more, you know. And I think that's necessary. And again, if you don't do it, and if you're aware that you don't do it, I don't mind. That's your conscious choice, you know. And then you know you're missing out a bit, and you're okay with that, you know. But at least you're aware and you're conscious, and you know you don't know like, I didn't know about it, you know. So I'm not gonna push anybody for competing. But what happens also with a fight night, if some compete, some other people get inspired. Oh, he competed, he's like me, you know. And then I rolled him, and I do pretty good with him, you know. And then
and he's
like,
a champion, and
yeah,
now I'm also the champion.
Yeah, and then, you know, maybe I do a fight night with him because, you know, so it kind of like, it inspires people actually.
Yeah.
So I find, you know, then that's a good start, and then we can talk about, you know, the bigger fields and stuff. So I think there's benefits if it's safe and everything, and you know, I competed myself till I think the end of the purple belt or something. I would say, like more frequently, and so I can recommend it. And then I was a coach, so I stopped competing at some point, but I still find it was beneficial. Yeah, so
Okay, cool. Last question.
Yes.
You have created some awkward positions, like the hawking and running man and stuff like this. My people said looks more like a car accident when I show it. But the funny thing that the shit all actually works pretty well. So if I want to also develop own stuff, how should I proceed? What was your way where you say, oh, this could be a thing for me or for others?
You're 28 years too late. So it's the same thing like just ask somebody, I want like a little bit like, I want money, you know? And how do I make a lot of money? It's like do something you love and care about the problem that a million people like, you know?
Yes.
And that means then you become a millionaire, you know? So I can't really tell you because has been a clear journey. I've been doing jiu-jitsu 23 years, and it's been like, I would say, from that, I think 15 years, it's been more like a conscious or, yeah. So I got a black belt from 2012, so now it's 11 years, but before that, we already developed some stuff. But I think a lot of things happened after black belt. I don't know, I always say I was a coach, so I was interested about this defense, and I had to tell my people, you know, how to do stuff, and I didn't like the answers we got, and so you know, and a lot of stuff I've credited Saulo Ribeiro of, you know, his famous sayings of, they're just behind me, they're not taking it back, you know, or something, or he was like, why do we give people crossface? And that's why we started to keep the head on a mat, you know, because he was like, why do we go? Actually, yeah, why do we give people crossfaces? You know, we should prevent that. And certain like ideas that pushed me, and then obviously some Eduardo Telles and stuff, and then other positions. So the quick answer is I don't know. It's been years in development and tweaking, you know. And then because I did something, then it worked, but something was missing. There was some like flaw, let's say, yeah. Then we have to go like, how do we fix that flaw, you know? Then we fixed it. Then other flaw came out, you know, and fixed it. And then it's years by years doing that, and looking for perfection, you know. So looking for a blind idea that it has to be perfect. It cannot have like a default flaw, you understand? So that was my blind belief somehow. And that drove me a lot, that it has to be. Other people always gave up, like, it's good enough, or, you know. And then I changed, again, you changed something. I was like, yeah, something was off here, there was like a flaw here, and it kind of like kept me tweaking all the time, you know. I was always obsessed and wanted to make it better and better. And yeah, then it's, you know, the open guard grilled chicken happened when the Braulio Stima and Andrea Calvao match, ADCC 2013, I think it was. I think it was 13. And they had a match. Braulio kept the structure, and Galbao was very hard time passing that structure. I was like, what is that, And then we call it a grilled chicken, like a rotisserie chicken structure. Because I saw it, it's like, Galbao knows everything compared to me. And he had very, very hard time passing the guard. And Braulio kept it with, let's say, with ease, let's say like this, yeah? So what is that, And then we figured out that turning it upside down became turtle, And then putting it sitting became sitting turtle, So it was like, oh, there's one structure that's like sitting turtle, and grilled chicken, Interesting. Why is the one structure like everywhere? Understand? And it was like confusing because I didn't expect that one structure dominates 3 places, And then that showed me some unity, like, oh, it could be like unifying a little bit, And then we called them Hawking and Baby Bridge. We called them staggered stances, and then Panda, sitting turtle and stuff. They're neutral stances. In martial sports, we have neutral and staggered stances. So now we're pushing that envelope that we have staggered stances like Hawking and Running Man and Baby Bridge, because in fighting people use way more staggered stances than neutral stances, so it's still keep building because I'm still not happy. Yeah, and we're adding and understanding of martial sports and stuff and what works, and so it's an interesting journey, but it's been happening, like 10 years, and then now it's I would say, I don't know, peaking, whatever, I can pull it off, enough in enough decent level that people take me seriously because they can test it, and I'm still not happy with certain things, and I keep tweaking. But I think it was 2017 when I started to play sitting turtles and stuff, and people were like, what the hell is that, or turtles, and then I got it, I was good enough that I could pull it off, and then it took, I think, people a couple of years to understand that I'm actually serious, and what I'm promoting and what I'm searching for, and then it's really I know a lot of other people started to implement that, and taking that turtle and sitting turtle and adding to their game, but it took a while, I think 1 or 2 years. So, but it's been like a journey, and it's a lot of people ask me, how do you build them? I was like, just some obsession 10 years ago. I got hit in the head and I started to develop them, and it's been a journey, and it's really hard to pinpoint, retrospect, why it happened. I just say I wanted to answer better questions because I didn't like that we didn't, keeping frames and crossface underhook, and then you're flat and it's hard to escape, Yeah. And then certain ideas didn't make any sense, and I was like, okay, what about not giving crossface? What about not letting them have underhook? Or what about not getting pinned and then escaping? So it's been a journey. So it's and now I'm traveling the world and doing this, and it's kind of fun that I kind of found my niche, so to speak. That I also think that this is one of the things that keeps me in jiu-jitsu, because after 23 years, in a right context, I would say jiu-jitsu is very boring, because it's repetitive, the same knee slide, like 23 years. So that research, what I do, keeps me interested in jiu-jitsu. I have a purpose of rolling. I don't want to do competitive rolls so much. I want to just test my things, test new things. And I really feel when I'm on a mat, I do purposely roll. I do deliberately certain things. Don't want to just roll. No, I just want to go like, okay, I want to test something, this, and that keeps me on a mat. And I think that's awesome in that sense. Otherwise, I know some guys in my gym, they don't do what I do. They're like, either they compete or they quit. They're like, I need competing, I need something goal, otherwise I would quit, And just rolling, it becomes like, after 20 years, it's different. So I'm also happy that I have that mission, in that sense, so that I can maybe do this forever, So yeah. So that's the very accurate short answer.
Thank you for your time.
Welcome.
And hopefully to see you soon again.
Yeah, thank you.
34 minutes?